Thank you for joining English Pratikaman. Before we start, just want to say, why do we do these rituals? Importance of rituals. This is actually given by Wendy M. Wright, and it seems pretty appropriate, so I try to tell everybody. Ritual encase memories. They link the past and the present. They choreograph the dance of intimacy that families and friends perform. They give us access to each other. And that's the importance, significance of doing what we are going to do for next 2 hours. It literally will not go over 2 hours, I'm pretty certain. And everybody's cooperation will be helpful. One important thing for everyone to remember, please have some patience because lessons are going to be read by different people and some of them can be as young as or as old as 5 years. So please bear with us. When if somebody comes like that and having difficulty pronunciation, I will appreciate if parents or older sibling pitch in and both of you do together. With that, we will go with lesson number 1. Sahil, you're on. Sorry. Sahil is, by the way, the coordinator who will be passing on, unmuting, etc. for everybody, those who need to read lessons. And we certainly appreciate and thank him for doing the first one and the second Pratikaman. Thank you, Sahil. Please go ahead.
Good to everyone. Starting with the first lesson, we have Nitin Shah.
Sahil, scroll up. Sahil.
Yeah.
Scroll up the lesson. I don't see one up here. Okay, who is the name? Nivan Shah. Can you start?
Pratikaman means turning back to the source. Anyone with teaching is called Pratikaman. This is popularly known as appetite. Appetite can be said as a lasting code of conduct. So literally, Pratikaman means turning back from transgressions as a Jain. However, we are supposed to observe 12 minor vows and 5 major vows observed by monks and nuns. During Pratikaman, we overview our activities for any transgressions which might have occurred among these vows. So Pratikaman reminds us to live within set limitations. There is a 5-fold code of conduct pertaining to 1. Knowledge, 2. Perception, 3. Behavior, 4. Austerity, 5. Exercising vigor. There are also various restrictions laid down to regulate our sensual activities. Monks are supposed to avoid all sorts of violence, lying, stealing, drunkenness, and possession. Women have their limitations and cannot avoid them totally. Restrictions in these respects have therefore been modified. The 5 minor vows, Anuva, 3 subsidiary vows, Gunava, laid down for augmenting the effectiveness of the minor vows, and 4 disciplinary vows, to any lapse of transgression of these vows is called Pratikaman. Therefore, we undertake Pratikaman by pondering over the code and the restraints one by one and take into consideration the faults and lacks pertaining to them with a view to atonement. During this Pratikaman, even if we might not have taken these vows, we still atone for lapse pertaining to them and wish that one of these days we can take this vow. This way we can try to ask for forgiveness for our ill actions and purify ourselves and improve upon our future activities. This enables us to set off some of our previous karma and also to slow down or prevent the inflow of new karma.
We will begin with taking Samik and then do the Pratikaman in between, and then end Samai. Go ahead, Sahil.
Lesson 2 will be Kayor Ichaporya.
Jai Jainendra, everyone. Namo Arihantanam, I bow down to Arihantas. Namo Siddhanam, I bow down to Siddhas. Namo Ayariyanam, I bow down to Acharyas. Namo Uvajayanam, I bow down to Upadhyayas. Namo Loe Savvasahunam, I bow down to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is the foremost among all the auspicious activities.
Lesson 3 will be Viren Metta.
The professor effectively controls 5 sense organs and observes 9 guidelines. Authority received. He plus C is free from 4 passions of anger, ego, deceit, and greed. He plus C is thus equipped with these 18 attributes. He plus C practices 5 great vows of non-violence, not accepting anything else unless specifically offered, religiously and non-possessive. He plus C is capable of the 5-fold code of knowledge, perception, conduct, austerity, and leadership. He can see observes 5 careful actions that pertain to movement, other desires, perceptions, and disposal. He can see effectively controls these 3 aspects of mind, speech, and body. In all, my perception is just embedded with these 36 attributes.
Manju Jain.
Manju Ben? Manju ji? Okay. Lesson 4, the obeisance to teachers. With 3 times clockwise movements of the folded hands, I bow down and kneel down to you. I honor you, Lord, and I respect you. You are blessed, you are auspicious, and you are divine. You are learned, and you give peace to all souls. Okay.
Viraj Mehta.
I desire to see myself from all my sins. I may have pained living beings while walking on the road. While coming to drugs, I may have crushed living beings, seeds, plants, dew, spiderwebs, white water, or libraries. Whatever living beings unfold, with 1 sense, 2 senses, 3 senses, 4 senses, or 5 senses, that I may have inflicted, pain, crushed, touched, covered with dust, robbed, collided with one another, tormented by turning on one side, or completely upside down, moved from one place to another, frightened, bothered, alarmed, or separated from life, may all such sins be dissolved. Thus done may come
Meena Jain.
Lesson 6, Meena Jain.
Yes, this is Meena Jain. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please, ma'am.
Oh, okay. This is Meena Jain. I do Kayoksar. That is forsake all the activities by adopting a motionless posture for repenting and achieving further purification, and for nullifying and destroying my sins and karmas by remaining at one place for unlifting of my blemished soul. Let my Kayoksar be unbroken and non-violent from exceptions such as breathing in or out, coughing, sneezing, yawning, burping, passing bodily gases, dizziness, vomiting sensation, fainting, subtle bodily movements such as swallowing septum or flickering of eyes or by knives, king, fire, fierce animals, etc. Until I complete it by mentally reciting Navkar Path to the Aryantas, I will keep my body steady at one place in complete silence and meditation and keep away from all sinful activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we are going to do Kayaksar for 4 nokars. I will recite the last part of the stanza and then we can recite 4 nokars. Taukai Muranam Janam Apanam Vosirami. 4 nokar, please. Okay, Sahil.
Lesson 7 is
Naresh.
Naresh.
Naresh Jainji, are you on? No. Do we have a volunteer to read lesson 7?
I could do it. I could do it. Prayer to lesson 7, prayer to 24 Tirthakas and all Siddhas. I chant, appreciate. All right. I chant, appreciate, and praise Arihant Lords and the Kevali Lords, who are the destroyers of karma enemies, conquerors of love and hatred, founders of four sanghas, and who cause luminescence in the entire universe. I bow down to them. The names of these 24 Tirthankars are, may these the names are not here. That's okay. May these 24 Tirthankars and other Keval Janas who have removed the karma particles, who have destroyed and ended the cycle of aging and death, be pleased with me. Oh, Lord Siddhas, you are supreme in the universe, free from karmas. I have praised you verbally, bowed down to you physically, and worshipped you mentally. Hence, to bestow upon me the benefit of true faith and deep meditation, and may you give me the supreme possession of Siddha. Oh, Lord Siddhas, purer than the moon, brighter than the sun, calmer the oceans, confer upon me the blessed liberation.
Now we are going to do Mupatti and Vandana. And to do Mupatti, if you can have the video on me, Sahil.
Yeah.
I will recite the sutra and the meaning and then show you how we're going to inspect the Mupatti. Ichami Kamasha Mandi Jani Jani Siya Mathen Vandami. Oh, forgiving Gurudev, I'm giving up all my wrongful acts with all my strength and bow down to you with my head near to your feet. Now, open up the Mupatti. If you can see me, great. And say following sutra. Ichakaran Sandisa Bhagavan Samaik Mupatti Padileham Icham. Oh, forgiving Gurudev, may I have your kind permission to inspect the Mupatti? Yes, you may. Your wish is my wish. Now hold it on 2 corners. Say meaning and essence that I accept. Now turn the Mupatti around to one side and say I discard 3 types of perception, obstructing, delusion, karma. Rotate it one more time and say I discard 3 types of attachments: sensual, affection, and vision related. Now put the open Mupatti on the left arm, fold it in half, and then fold 1 inch from the closed side and hold it on the right hand. We are going to move the Mupatti 3 times on the left hand from wrist to shoulder, and we are reciting as we go up and as we come down. So first, I accept right Dev, right Guru, and right religion. Now moving it back down, I discard wrong Dev, wrong Guru, and wrong religion. Second time, I accept right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct. Now moving it down, I discard wrong knowledge, wrong faith, and wrong conduct. Third time, I accept control of activities of mind, speech, and body. Moving it down, I discard inauspicious activities of mind, speech, and body. Now, gently vibrate the Mupatti on the back of the left hand, saying, I discard harmful laughter, happiness in sinful activities, and unhappiness in spiritual activities. Now take it on the left hand and vibrate on the right hand. I discard fear, sorrow, and disgust. This is now complete. Fold it the way it was before, and we go to Vandana. I'm going to recite, and if you have Charavara, put the Mupatti on it. If not, put it just in front of you. Ichami Kamasamno, Vandiu Jamni Jai Nisiyae, Anujanam Me Mugam Nisihi, Aho, Kayam, Kayam, Samfasam Kamlijo Be Kilamo, Apakilam Tanam, Bochuben Be, Divaso Vikanto, Jatta Be, Jamwani, Jancham Ve, Kamemi, Kamasamno. Okay, move on, Sahil.
Lesson 8 will be recited by Anil Sharma.
Anil Bhai. Okay, I'll recite lesson 8, adopting the vow of Samaik. I abandon the mind, body, and speech of the sinful activities, the area being the entire universe, the time limit being 48 minutes, and above that, until I do not ritually complete the vow with my pure attitude by 6 limitations attentively and vigilantly. O respected Lords, I perform the vow of Samaik. O Reverend Lords, I undertake Samaik in vow to abandon all sinful activities in 2 ways, that is, I will not do and I will not get it done, and by 3 means of mind, speech, and body until my vow lasts. O Reverend Lords, I refrain from sins, I censor my sins, and even more so in the presence of you, I vow to keep my soul away from sins. Move on.
Priya Jain.
I offer respect to Lord Shiva and Arahant, who are pioneers of religion, prophets of fourfold sun, self-enlightened, supreme, strong as lions, pure like the best Windaric lotuses, like the best Samvatsari elephants. In the universe, you are supreme, master of all, beneficent to all, and illuminating like a lamp. You are endowers of fearlessness, the scholar of true vision, guides to the religious path, givers of shelter to those troubled by life and death, runners of religion, teachers, leaders, guides, and facilitators of the right faith. You end the transmigration of souls from the cycle of birth. You are islands for the souls sinking in their life ocean, saviors of souls. You are bearers of absolute knowledge and vision. Your ignorance is totally gone. You are victors of craving and aversion and are the cause for others to win over the sin. You have crossed over the ocean of transmigration and caused others to do so. You are self-enlightened ones and are the inspirators of enlightened states to others. You have self-liberated from karma and are liberated to others. You are the omniscient Lord, have omnivision. You are free from calamity, steadfast, free from diseases, infinite and endless, unperishable, and unmolested. O Lord, you have reached to a state from where rebirth is ruled out and you are liberated. While O Arihant, Lord Arihant, you have reached to the state from where rebirth is ruled out and you would be liberated. My salutation to those who have conquered all 7 years.
Julie Kamdar.
that Upasagram Sutra? Thank you. Jai Jinendra, everyone. Upasagram Sutra. I bow to Lord Parshvanath, who is served by the demigod Parshva, who is the remover of all afflictions, free from all sort of karmas, the destroyer of the poison of the poisonous animals, and is the god of bliss and well-being. If one regularly wears the charm of Vishadhar's filling, snake charmer on his neck, planetary animosity, disease, plague, and severe fevers would be calmed down. Aside from that charm, even bowing to you would be highly fruitful, resulting in divine life, etc. All beings would not thereby be in an unhappy or a miserable state. If one gains the truth presented by you, which is superior even to the desire-yielding tree, the soul can gain ageless and immortal state without any obstacles. Great graceful Lord, I have adored you this way with devoted heart. Therefore, Lord Parshvanath, kindly bless me with the true knowledge in every remaining birth. Jai Jinendra.
Sanjeev Jain.
Jai Jinendra. Lesson 11, Jainendra Sutra. The first Lord, the scepter of the universe, whispers to you, my Lord, by your grace, let me have the following. Disillusioning for embodiment. Freedom, setting along the true path, attainment of desired truth, abandonment of activity against the public interest, worship of the worthy, benevolent action, concept of true Christ, and lifelong and uninterrupted following of your precepts. Detach, Lord, your scriptures forbid and see it as bondage to ask for any specific reward for the details. Still, I pray for servitude at your feet, birth after birth. By bowing to you, let me get destruction of afflictions and karmas, equivalence, death and gain, the benefit of true perception.
Bobby Jain.
Bobby Jain.
I can go again.
Manju Jain, do you want to do this? No. Go again, whoever volunteered.
Okay. Sanjeev Jain. Lesson 12. Observance to the virtuous. I offer respect to all those monks and nuns who go around with the permission of their superior and follow the principles laid down for them by Passionate Lord Arihantas and Siddhas. They are my religious teachers, perceptors, and preachers. Comfort of true faith and knowledge, the ornaments of path of Jainism, and are worthy of many titles. I offer options to them now and again, and let it reach wherever they may be.
We do the car sir for one no car. A humble request to all the speakers to be near microphone. Some of your voices are not coming out good. I hope it will get better. For those who cannot hear, that is why we have all the lessons on screen. My apologies, but we are giving opportunities to everybody to participate. So if you can't hear, please read. Thank you. We will do car sir for one no car now. Taukai Thananam Muranam Jananam Apparam Vosirami. Okay. Sayan.
Nitin Shah.
Hello, Neil Gaurang.
Namo Arihantaram. I bow to Arihantas. Namo Siddhanam. I bow to Siddhas. Namo Ayariyaram. I bow to down to Acharyas. Namo Loe Sabbasahunam. I bow to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is foremost among all the specious activities.
You'll do it twice and you miss Namo Vajjanam. Please remember. Go on again 2 times.
Namo Arihantaram. I bow down to Arihantas. Namo Siddhanam. I bow down to Siddhas. Namo Ayariyaram. I bow down to Acharyas. Namo Uvajjayanam. I bow down to Upadhyayas. Namo Loe Sabbasahunam. I bow down to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is foremost among all the specious activities.
One more time.
Namo Arihantaram. I bow down to Arihantas. Namo Siddhanam. I bow down to Siddhas. Namo Ayariyaram. I bow down to Acharyas. Namo Loe Sabbasahunam. Wait. I think I missed one. Namo Uvajjayanam. I bow down to Upadhyayas. Namo Loe Sabbasahunam. I bow down to all the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is the foremost among all the auspicious activities.
Thank you. Now we start Pratikaman. Go on, Sahil.
14 is Jain.
Obeisance to five supreme. I bow down to Arihantas, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyayas, and to all universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is the foremost among all auspicious activities. I bow down to Arihantas, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyayas, and to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all the sins and is foremost among all the auspicious activities. I bow down to Arihantas, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyayas, and to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is foremost among all the auspicious activities.
15 is Ankita and Janya.
With the 3-time clockwise movement of folded hands like this. I bow down and kneel down to you. I honor you, Lord, and I respect you. You are blessed, you are auspicious, and you are divine. You are learned, and you give peace to all souls.
3 times.
Yes. I bow down and kneel down to you. I honor you, Lord, and I respect you. You are blessed, you are auspicious, and you are divine. You are learned, and you give peace to all the souls. I bow down and kneel down to you. I honor you, Lord, and I respect you. You are blessed, you are auspicious, and you are divine. You are learned, and you give peace to all the souls.
Thank you. Manjuji.
Can I volunteer, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Lesson 16, permission to start Pratikaman. My adorable teacher, sitting steady at one place, I pray for a permission for repentance Pratikaman of lapses committed during the daytime.
Wait, we need to do it 3 times, please.
I can't see the lesson, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he'll bring it. Dial lesson 16. Can you
My
see it?
adorable teacher, sitting steady at one place, I pray for your permission for repentance Pratikaman of lapses committed during the daytime. My adorable teacher, sitting steady at one place, I pray for your permission for repentance Pratikaman of lapses committed during the daytime.
I'm doing pratikama to prevent the incoming new karmas and to erase previously accumulated karmas, and for pondering over the violations pertaining to vows, while attempting to acquire knowledge and perception. Okay, 17.
Arav Doshi.
Arav Doshi.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to bow to you. Oh, forgiving Gurudev, I want to bow to you. Keeping away all faults to the extent of my power. Oh, forgiving Gurudev, bowing my head, I ask for your forgiveness for the faults that have been committed while undertaking a simple activity. Oh, forgiving Gurudev, I will be praying for any of the very few unworthy acts pertaining to fall devotion, evil mind, evil words, evil Christ, that upset religious. Oh, forgiving Gurudev, I just said such unworthy acts and the person I have done such things. And I will keep my soul only from all such things.
Good job.
Thank you. Please keep microphones near you, all the future speakers. Now we're going to do Kausak for 4 no cars. Taukai Tharinam Janinam Morinam Aparam Vosirami. 4 no cars, recite please. Okay, Sahil, lesson 18.
Next lesson is Gaurang Shah.
Jai Jinendra. Lesson 18 is learning, studying and teaching the scriptures. I reflect on and confess the 14 wrongdoings, atichar, related to learning, studying or teaching the scriptures in threefold ways, like the scriptural texts themselves, their commentaries or meanings, or all I might have committed one or more of the following wrongdoings, atichar. 1. Reciting the sutras in random order. 2. Pronouncing a word or stanza more times than it should be. 3. Failure to utter some letters or words during the recitation. 4. Uttering extra letters or words during the recitation. 5. Uttering either more or less words in combination during the recitation. 6. Reciting without proper discipline. 7. Reciting in a wretched state of mind, speech or body. 8. Uttering the accented syllables in a poor way. 9. Not teaching the scriptures to deserving person. 10. Teaching the scriptures to a non-deserving person who has harmful intentions to prove the right as wrong and the wrong as right. 11. Studying the scriptures at improper times. 12. Not studying them at proper times. 13. Studying at improper places. 14. Not studying at proper places. I could have contradicted or not duly respected or not learned the right knowledge. I might have been ungrateful to the gurus. I might have wrongly disputed with a learned person. I might have so behaved so as to incur knowledge obscuring karma. I might have kept my books scattered anywhere and everywhere or put them on the floor instead of on the stand or bookshelf. I might have used the religious book as a pillow or touched it with my foot. I might have not taken care of it. I might have misinterpreted, laughed at, or ignored the words of the scripture because of obstinacy, wrong insistence, impudence, or as well as evil intention caused by perversity. If I have indulged in any of the above faults or lapses by physical, verbal, or mental activities, directly or indirectly, then I pray that such faults be dissolved. Tassa Michhami Dukra.
Priya Doshi.
I desire to know the true and perfect meaning of the Holy Scriptures to develop faith towards true God, Guru and religion, and to serve and associate with such gurus, and have studied the Holy Scriptures in depth. I desire to abandon the hypocrites who consider simple acts as religious. Also, I want to disassociate from those who have deserted religion after right perception. I wish to become a follower of the saints and keep faith in those who follow true religion. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to faith: loss of faith, following wrong faith, doubting about consequences, can be impressed by outward showy performances, or to associate with the wrong. If I have indulged in any of the above 5 violations by physical, verbal, or mental activity, then may have such false needs result.
Lesson 20 is Sia Atit.
The first minor vow is to refrain from violence towards all living beings. When will that auspicious day come in my life when I would take the vow not to kill deliberately, intentionally, or unknowingly any of the mobile beings, namely those with 2 senses, 3 senses, 4 senses, and 5 senses, except those which may inflict pain to my body or my dependents. Until I can take that vow, I shall try not to hurt or kill the smallest lives, or ask anybody else to do so, or encourage those who are doing so, mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of nonviolence: confining any being inclusive of animals and birds where it could hurt them, or where there is no freedom, hitting them with sticks or by any other means, piercing nose, ear, or amputating limbs or any part of the body, making them carry heavy load, or depriving them of food, shelter, etc. If I have indulged of any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved. Tassa Michhami Dukra.
Priyanka Kalaraya.
Lesson 21, Truthfulness. The second minor vow is to refrain from speaking gross lies. When will that auspicious day come in my life when I can take vow not to speak lies pertaining to matrimonial matters, trading in animals or land, misrepresenting or denying somebody's property deposited, or becoming a false witness, etc. Until I can take this vow, I shall try not to lie or ask someone else to lie for me, or to encourage those who indulge in lies mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of truthfulness. First vow, uttering dreadful or shocking words, divulging someone's secrets, wrong advice, false witnessing or preaching, or false documentation or forgery. If I have indulged in any of the above acts, then may all such sins be dissolved. Tasam Ichhami Dukram.
Niyam Gailani.
The third vow is to refrain from theft. When will that auspicious day come to my life? I can take the vow not to take someone's belongings without permission, steal buried treasure, open someone's package, open someone's lock with another key, or knowingly take someone's belongings, steal personally, asking someone else to do so for me, or encourage others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. Until I take this vow, I shall try to do so for me, or encourage others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. Until I can take this vow, I shall try to observe these principles in my life to do the best of my ability. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of non-stealing: buying stolen or smuggled goods, helping any thief, burglar, or smuggler, doing anything against the state of forbidden by law, using inaccurate, weighing or measuring instruments, or adulterating or supplying inferior goods by showing superior variety. If I have indulged in any of those acts, then may all such sins be dissolved. Tassa Rachami Dukara.
Rahul Doshi.
Lesson 23, Self-Control over Sensuality. The fourth minor vow is to refrain from gross sensuality. When will that auspicious day come in my life when I can take this vow to be content with my own spouse and forbid sensual pleasures with anybody other than spouse? This is to be observed in 3 ways. Personally, asking someone else to do for me, or encouraging others to do so, mentally, verbally, or physically. Until I take this vow, I shall try to observe these principles in my life to the best of my ability. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of self-control over sensuality. 1. Having marital relationship with minor spouse. Having premarital or extramarital relations. Third, having perverse relations. 4. Getting others involved into sensual pleasure. Or 5. Being obsessive towards sensual activities. If I have indulged in any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved.
Rayan Gailani.
The fifth minor vow is to lay down limitations on property and possessions. When will that auspicious day come in my life where I can take the vow to set limits on accumulations of real estate, jewelry, garments, apparatus, and instruments, food provisions, housewares, vehicles, etc. I will try not to accumulate jewelry possessions over and above the limit so set. This is to be observed in 3 ways: personally asking someone to do it for me, or encouraging others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations of pertaining this vow of limitation of accumulations: accumulating too much open land or properties, accumulating too much gold, silver, precious jewelry, etc., accumulating too much gold, silver, precious jewelry, etc., accumulating too much cash, accumulating too many vehicles, or accumulating too many housewares and equipment. If I've indulged in any of the above acts, then may all my sins be resolved. Tassa Machami Dukra.
Kushi Koedia.
5. Geographic limitations. The sixth vow, or the first supporting gunra. The first supporting vow is to restrict dealings within limited directions. When will that auspicious day come in my life when I can take the vow and set limits on dealing in different directions? They are upward, downward, east, west, north, and south, and I will stay within that. I shall try to observe these limitations to the best of my abilities and try not to cross them willingly and get involved in the 5 evils of violence, lies, theft, passion, and greed. I would not do it myself or ask someone to do it for me or encourage them to do it encourage them to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of geographic limitation. Number 1, crossing the limitations of upward direction. Number 2, crossing the limitation of downward direction. Number 3, crossing the limits of eastern, western, northern, or southern directions. Number 4, curtailing the limit of one direction to extend the limits of another. Or number 5, proceeding in spite of indication that the limit is over. If I have indulged in any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved. Thus Samichami Dukha.
Sparsh Kamdar.
Lesson 26, Limitation on Consumption and Occupations. 7th vow, second supporting gunavra. The second supporting vow is to restrict the amount and number of articles which can be used and reused, and avoid occupations involving gross violence. When will that auspicious day come in my life when I can take the vow to restrict the number of towels, napkins, bathing water, garments, toothbrushes, oils, lotions, pastes, cosmetics, ornaments, incenses, beverages, sweets, a variety of grains, pulses, ghee, oil, milk, curds, green vegetables, fruits, number of items in diet, water, flowers, etc. I also desire that I be able to restrict the number of vehicles, footwear, beds, mattresses, animate things such as fruits with seeds, unboiled water, etc. I shall try to restrict to the best of my abilities from consuming or using such and other things, and not to exceed the set limits personally. Asking someone else to do for me or encouraging others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. I shall also try not to get engaged in any occupation that involves gross violence to other living beings. Personally, asking someone else to do so or encouraging others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of limitation of the consumption. consuming animate things, using inanimate things that are in contact with animate things, consuming something that is partially cooked, consuming something that is cooked in a cruel way, or consuming something in which there is less to eat and more to discard. If I have indulged in any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved. Thus, Samichami Dukram. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of limitation in occupations. Occupations in which furnaces are used, occupations in which trees are cut, occupations in fermented goods such as liquor, occupations of renting animals, birds, etc., occupations involving excavations and explosions, trades in ivory, bones, horns, fur, etc., manufacturing activities concerned with crushing, etc., trades in lard, honey, meat, fat, etc., trades in sealing wax, etc., trades in poisonous and toxic substances such as opium and pesticides, etc., occupations in which animals, birds, fish, etc. are tortured or killed, occupations in which animals, birds, etc. are amputated, occupations in which fires are set in forests, fields, etc., occupations in which lakes, wells, ponds, etc. are dried up, or occupations in which wicked men, prostitutes, or call girls are supported. If I have indulged in any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved. That's Samichami Dukram.
Khushbu Shah.
Jai Jananda, everyone. Restricting purposeless violence. The third supporting vow is to refrain from purposeless and meaningless violence. When will the auspicious day come in my life when I can take the vow to not to get involved in any of the meaningless violent activities? These activities are concentration on evil, cruel, or mournful thoughts, reluctance towards righteous or good deeds, possession of deadly weapons, and preaching of sinful acts, and one should not indulge in them in any of the 3 ways of doing personally, asking someone else to do so, or encouraging others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. I shall try to observe these principles in my life to the best of my abilities. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of restrictions on purposeless violence. Uttering words that arouse passion, performing bad gestures, carelessly speaking meaningless jargons, collecting deadly weapons, or excessive attachment towards consumer items. If I have indulged in any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved. Vasamichami Dukram.
Chirag Doshi.
Lesson 28, self-control for a short time. This training vow is to remain in self-control whenever an opportunity arises. I will undertake to do a samayit, that is self-control, for at least 48 minutes and do it flawlessly. During this, I will refrain from sinful and evil activities personally, asking someone to do so, or encouraging others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of self-control for a short time. 1. Mentally indulging in a foul way. 2. Using foul language. 3. Doing foul acts. 4. Doing something negligently or carelessly. Or 5. Terminating it prematurely. If I have indulged in any of these above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved.
Spinal Doshi.
Lesson 29, day-to-day additional limits, 10th vow. Second, Shikshavra. This vow is to put additional limits on the 6 directions for 1 day from dawn of the day for 1 day and 1 night. I will observe this vow to limit myself from willful and physical movements in any of these directions, mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of day-to-day additional limits. Calling for someone, something or someone from beyond the set limits. Sending for something or someone beyond the set limits. sending anything beyond the set limits, summoning anyone beyond the set limits by shouting or conveying any message beyond the set limits by gesture. If I have indulged in any of these acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved.
Jignesh Mehta.
Practicing the life of monk, Posad Vrat, 11th vow, and 36th vow. This vow is to train the soul in pure religious activities for one day. When the circumstances arise from the dawn of the day, for one day and one night, I will live like monk to become a pure by doing so. That day I will observe fast or eat only once, abstain from persons, and avoid jewelry, gold, flowers, garlands, cosmetics, and all other worldly things. I will observe the same mentally, verbally, and physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this law of practicing the life of monk. Making that carelessly without taking care of living beings. Second, not sweeping or sweeping carelessly the place from making the bed. Third, not washing carefully the place is while washing. Fourth, disposing the excrete carelessly without looking for living things. Or fifth, not following this law in proper manner. If I have indulged any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved.
Any volunteer?
Ayushi Kawedia.
Lesson 31, sharing with guests and others. This vow is to share food and provisions with saints or with whoever who may come to get food and provisions. I shall cherish desire of offering and sharing with religious saints and others who have renounced everything, who take only innocent food, water, or other eatables, etc., who wear simple white clothes, use wooden pots and utensils, etc. There are following 5 major violence pertaining to this vow of sharing.
We cannot hear.
Loudly. Yeah, mixing.
Mixing inanimate and animate things while offering, covering inanimate and animate things with an intention to avoid offering, offering something which is spoiled, fermented, or stale, asking others to offer instead of offering myself in spite of being personally able to offer, or indulging in pride for offering. If I have indulged in any of the above acts, then may all my such sins be dissolved. Sasamikshami the
Jia Delhi.
Jai Jinendra. Lesson 32 is Santhara, a religious fast to death. When all the purposes of life have been served, or when the body becomes unable to serve any purpose, I wish to be able to adopt Santhara, a religious fast to death. Then I would abandon all 18 types of sins and 4 types of foods. I would also abandon my body, which is very dear to my mind, the abode of faith, like a box of ornaments containing precious stones. I would not care for the body in spite of feeling cold, hot, hungry, thirsty, or undergoing insect bites, troubles by other people, diseases including those which may cause delirium, or other severe physical suffering. I wish to be able to abandon my body to my last breath. In this case, I would remain indifferent to death to the extent of my ability. At that time, I would sweep and clean the place of my need, would be very careful where I disposed the waste, lay a bed of grass or straw, sit on such bed, face the northeast direction, with crossed folded legs or posture possible under the state of health, with folded hands saying salutations to the Arhat lords who have already attained moksha. Then I would bow to a guru if present, and I would repent from misdoings, violent acts, falsehoods, thefts, sensualities, and worldly belongings. During Santhara, I wish to be able to shun all unworthy acts personally by me, or asking someone else to do it for me, or encouraging others to do so mentally, verbally, or physically. There are following 5 major violations pertaining to this vow of Santhara. 1. Desiring worldly status like becoming an emperor or wealthy after death. 2. Desiring to become a divine personality after death. 3. Desiring prolonged life with the view of becoming popular. 4. Desiring early death in order to cut short the physical pains, etc. Or 5. Desiring sensual pleasures of the world. I shall try to avoid all such lapses, but if I do indulge in any of the above acts, then I pray that may all my such sins be dissolved. Thus Samichami Dukradam.
Viral Doshi.
Might be Viral Dosi.
Can you hear it? Can you hear?
Yes.
Lesson 33, Energy Vigor. I reflect on the wrongdoing, Atichar, related to energy or strength. If I am guilty of any wrongdoing, Atichar, of this matter, I request to be forgiven and my sins nullified. I might have been guilty of dissipated energy or strength of the body through evil activity of the mind, or the energy or strength of speech, unfruitful activities of the speech, or the energy or strength of the body and wicked activities of the body. From my birth until today, and in previous life, if I have been guilty of breaking or offending against any vow, whether I took it or not, knowingly or unknowingly, either by day or at night, by physical nature of activity, place, time, or desire, either partly or wholly. If I have been guilty of thinking of committing sins, of preparation for the commission of such sins, of attempting to commit such sins, or of actual commission of the sins, or otherwise being guilty either by thought, speech, or action, or made someone else guilty, or approved of any such less or guilt, then keeping the infinite Adhikar, the Siddhas, and the reverse cabling as my witness, I wish to be forgiven and the sins nullified. If I have indulged in any of the above faults or lapses by physical, verbal, or mental activities, directly or indirectly, then I pray that my such faults be dissolved.
Mihir and Krishi Shah.
Lesson 34, the 18 sinful activities. In our life, we come across the following 18 sinful activities: to hurt or kill living beings, to lie, to steal, unchastity, worldly possessiveness, anger, pride, deception, greed, craving, aversion, quarreling, allegation, gossiping, criticism, being happy in sinful acts, being unhappy in religious acts, to lie maliciously, to trust wrong God, Guru, or religion. If I have committed any of the above 18 sinful acts, personally, ask someone else to do for me, or encourage others to do so, then in the presence of infinite Siddhas and Kevalis, I ask for forgiveness. May all my such sins be dissolved. Tasamichami dukram.
Lesson 35. There are 25 different types of wrong beliefs. Stubbornly supporting the false viewpoint without discrimination of true or false, believing in all gods and teachers without discrimination, persisting in views and opinions in spite of knowing that they could be false, suspicion about true religion, absolute ignorance, celebrating so-called festive or holy occasions of gods or teachers who do not conform to true religion, worshipping Tirthankars with selfish motives, agreeing with hypocrites, considering living as non-living, and considering non-living as living, considering saint or monks as non-saintly or no monk, considering non-saints or no monks as saints or monks, considering liberated souls as non-liberated, and considering non-liberated souls as liberated, considering holy as unholy, and considering unholy as holy, considering the path of Jainism as equivalent to other paths, and considering other faiths as equivalent to Jainism, understanding the facts of Jainism, overstating the facts of Jainism, stating contrary to the facts of Jainism, disrespecting teachers, saints, etc., not believing in religious practices, glorifying ignorance, and ill-behaving with teachers, saints, etc. If I have indulged in any of these above 25 beliefs, personally, asked, or encouraged others to do so, then in the presence of infinite siddhas and kevalis, I ask for forgiveness. May all my such faults be dissolved. Tasamichami.
Saina Buba.
I reflect on and confess my failure to think of the three aspirations, which are, when shall I get rid of possessions from minimum to maximum of it? When shall I give up living as a Shtavak and resort to monkhood? And the last, regarding death, I wish that I can accept and fast until death and die laying in one position without anybody's help, or with help of someone to change my laying down position or while I am moving around. If I have indulged in any of the above faults or lapses by physical, verbal, or mental activities, directly or indirectly, then I pray that my such faults be dissolved.
Four auspicious entities. Aryants are auspicious, Siddhants are auspicious, Sadhus are auspicious, the religion taught by Kevalis is auspicious. I seek shelter in four. I seek shelter in Aryants, I seek shelter in Siddhas, I seek shelter in Sadhus, I seek shelter taught by Kevalis. Those who accept these four auspicious supreme entities and seek their shelter will cross the ocean of life and end all karmas. The endless happiness of moksha is gained by them who sing their praises faithfully. In this world, these four are the only shelters, and there are no other shelters. Those who so sit the shelter of these four attain the imperishable eternal status. They attain moksha.
Sanjay.
Obeisance to Sri Aryant and Kevali Lords. First, I beg forgiveness from the present Tirthankars and Kevali Lords who dwell in the Panch Mahavidev Kshetra. By praising the virtues of these Lords, even with slight interest, many karmas will be expelled. If this is done with deep interest, then one may earn the Tirthankar Gotra Nam Karma. Names of these 20 Tirthankars are Sri Simandar Swami, Sri Jugmandar Swami, Sri Bahu Swami, Sri Subahu Swami, Sri Sujatnath Swami, Sri Swama Prabhu Swami, Sri Rishabnand Swami, Sri Anantvirya Swami, Sri Suprabh Swami, Sri Vishal Prabh Swami, Sri Vajradhar Swami, Sri Chandran Swami, Sri Chandrabahu Swami, Sri Bhujangdev Swami, Sri Ishwar Swami, Sri Name Prabhu Swami, Sri Veersen Swami, Sri Mahabhadra Swami, Sri Devjasa Swami, and Sri Ajit Sen Swami. To these 20 to 160 Tirthankars and to 30 to 90 million Kevali Lords, we are salutations at every moment. How are these Lords? Such are these Lords who know and perceive our thoughts, who know and perceive every happening, who know and perceive the occurrences of all times, and who see the 14 Rajloks as clearly as water taken in hands. These Lords have infinite knowledge, Gyan, infinite vision, darshan, infinite character, charitra, infinite austerity, tapa, infinite patience, dhairya, infinite vigor, virya. They bear 6 virtues. The Tirthankars bear 34 unique qualities, 35 types of truth involving speeches, 1008 excellences, are devoid of 18 violations and bear 12 virtues. They all have done away with 4 Gati karmas and are desirous of destroying the remaining 4 Agati karmas for going to Muktishila. They solve the doubts of Jeeves. They possess all the means. They're able-bodied, Keval Gyani, Keval Darshi, and possess the God-said character. They possess perfect truth, faith, topmost meditation, purest hue, and purest virtues. By the 64 Indras, they are worth adoring, saluting, and worshipping. They possess the greatest vigor and such other virtues. Blessed are those villages, cities, townships, and the capital cities where these lords must be preaching. There are the kings, ministers, family heads, community heads, and such other personalities listening to the preachings of the lords must be purifying the ears they are blessed. Seeing the Lord and having a glance at him, they must be purifying their eyes, they are blessed. By giving away the provisions, food, water, etc., and 14 such other types of donations, they must be purifying their hands, they are blessed. O great lords, you dwell in Pancha Mahavideha Kshetra, and I, a sinner, humble servant, virtueless, am sitting here. Any sins pertaining to your Gyan, Darshan, Charitra, and Tap, whatever disrespect, ill behavior, ill worship, or offense has been committed, then with folded hands, shunning pride, and bowed head, I repeatedly beg for your forgiveness. Tasa Michami Dukram.
Karina Shah.
Jainendra. Lesson 39, Obeisance to Sri Siddha Lords. Second, I beg forgiveness from the infinite Siddha Lords. By praising the virtues of these lords, even with the slight interest, many karmas will be expelled. If this is done with deep interest, then one may earn the Tirthankar Gotra, Nam Karma. The names of the 24 Tirthankars who have become Siddhas from Bharat Kshetra in this time cycle of Asarpini Kal are Sri Rishabdev Swami, Sri Ajitnath Swami, Sri Sambhavnath Swami, Sri Abhinandan Swami, Sri Sumtinath Swami, Sri Padma Prabhu Swami, Sri Suparshvanath Swami, Sri Chandra Prabhu Swami, Sri Suvidinath Swami, Sri Sheetalnath Swami, Sri Shreyansnath Swami, Sri Vasupujya Swami, Sri Vimalnath Swami, Sri Anantnath Swami, Sri Dharmanath Swami, Sri Shantinath Swami, Sri Kuntunath Swami, Sri Aranath Swami, Sri Malinath Swami, Sri Munisuvrat Swami, Sri Naminath Swami, Sri Neminath Swami, Sri Parshvanath Swami, and Sri Mahavir Swami. I offer obeisance at every moment to these 24 Tirthankars and infinite others who lived earlier, who have destroyed all 8 types of karmas and have been liberated. The 8 types of karmas are knowledge obscuring karma, perception obscuring karma, feeling producing karma, delusion causing karma, lifespan determining karma, physique determining karma, status determining karma, inability causing karma, Jnana Varnya karma, Darshana Varnya karma, Vedanya karma, Mohanya karma, Ayushya karma, Nam karma, Gotra karma, Antaray karma. Destroying all these 8 karmas, they dwell above Mukti Shila, the platform of liberation. Where is this Mukti Shila? First comes the Jyotish Chakra. 790 jojans away from this earth is the galaxy of stars. 10 jojans further is the abode of the sun. 80 jojans above that is the abode of the moon. 40 jojans above that is the abode of the constellations. 4 jojans above that is the abode of Mercury. 3 jojans above that is the abode of Venus. 3 jojans above that is the abode of Jupiter. 3 jojans above that is the abode of Mars. And lastly, 3 jojans above that is the abode of Saturn. Thus, till 900 jojans extends the Jyotish Chakra. Millions of jojans away from there are 12 devloks. Innumerable jojans above these are the 9 gravayaks. Innumerable jojans above that are the 5 highest abodes. 12 jojans above the banners of these great abodes is the Mukti Shila. How is this Mukti Shila? This Mukti Shila has a diameter of 4.5 million jojans,
has a central thickness of 8 jojans, and its circumference is as thin as the wings of a fly, and is as bright as a cow's milk. The moon, a gem, a silver bar, a pearl necklace, or even the milky ocean, even brighter than them all combined. 1 jojan above this Mukti Shila is in the 6th part of its last 2 miles, dwell the blemishless, formless Siddha lords. These Siddhas are colorless, odorless, matterless, formless, imperishable, hungerless, miseryless, diseaseless, without sadness, birthless, ageless, deathless, bodiless, karmaless, eternal, an abode of unending bliss and happiness. Great are thou, O lords. You dwell in Siddha Kshetra, in the state of liberation, and I, a sinner, humble servant, virtueless, am sitting here. If I have indulged in any lapses pertaining to your knowledge, perception, character, and austerities, or if I have been instrumental of any disrespect, ill behavior, ill worship, or offense, then with folded hands, shunning pride, and bowed head, I repeatedly beg for your forgiveness.
Priya and Nivamita.
Third, I beg forgiveness from the Ganadhars and past and present acharyas, upadhyayas, and sadhu-sadhis. The Ganadhars possess 52 virtues, acharyas possess 36 virtues, upadhyayas possess 25 virtues, and sadhus possess 27 virtues. We are truly indebted to our religious teachers, preceptors, and preachers, who are great scholars, great monks, great men, who know the essence of the scriptures and are well versed in it. They are on the path of salvation, and they guide others on the same path. They are like a boat or a voyage ship, helping us to cross the ocean of life. They are like a wish-fulfilling gem, ornamental to the Jain religion. Also, all the Ganadhars and many acharyas, upadhyayas, and sadhus have already attained liberation or heaven by repentance, criticism of their own sins, etc. So we are highly obliged to them. Also, in the universe, there are at present acharyas and upadhyayas possessing similar virtues, all under the command of Sri Vitrag lords. Their numbers may range from 200 to 900 million. Let our repeated salutations be to them. How are these masters? They are following of the five great vows of non-violence, truth, non-stealing, celibacy, and possessionlessness. They practice 5 samathis that lay down ways and methods of carrying out essential activities of life, and 3 guptis pertaining to control of mind, speech, and body. They have innate affection for all 6 types of living beings. They are free from 7 types of fears and 8 types of prides. They practice absolute celibacy, strictly following the 9 guidelines. They practice the 10-fold religion of the monks. They practice 12 types of austerities and 17 types of restraints. They are overcome all 22 types of adversities and are embedded with 27 attributes of the monk. They take food free from all violations. They avoid indulging in the 52 types of misdoing. They have abandoned the use of animate things and only use inanimate things. They have abandoned the wealth and of passions and the worldly attachments. They are oceans of equanimity and are full of sympathy, etc. virtues. You dwell in villages, townships, cities, etc., and I, a sinner, humble servant, virtueless, am sitting here. If I have indulged in any lapses pertaining to your knowledge, perception, character, and austerities, or if I have been instrumental of any disrespect, ill behavior, ill worship, or offense, then with folded hands, shunning pride, and bowed head, I repeatedly beg for your forgiveness. Dasamichami Dukram. Next, I beg forgiveness from Shravak Shravikas, the lay followers of true faith, who are numerable within Adi Dweep and innumerable outside Adi Dweep. These Adi Deeps are Jambu Deep, Datakikan Deep, and half
Kushakarvar Deep. Each deep consists of 3 kshetras, which are Bharat, Mahadev, Mahavide, and Ayarvat kshetras. How are these Shravikaji's? They exceed you and me in charity, character, austerity, virtues, etc. They do Pratikaman, inclusive of 6 essentials, twice a day. In a month, they do 4 or 6 shads, or live saintly lives. With true faith, they bear the 12 vows, 11 meditations, and 3 aspirations. They have sympathy towards all weaker lives. They know the 9 fundamentals of life. They bear the 21 virtues of Shravaks. They consider others' wealth and possession as totally useless to them like stones. They consider all men and women except their spouses as further sons or mother sisters. They are firmly religious and unshakable even by deities. Their spirit of religion is Maradeep. If I have indulged in any disrespect, misbehavior, or offense to such Shravak or Shravikas, then with folded hands, shunning pride, and bowed head, I repeatedly beg for their forgiveness. I apologize to Shravak Shravikas. I apologize to those who bear true vision. I apologize to the obliging brothers and sisters. I apologize to the parents. I also apologize to the 8.4 million types of lives which are as under: 700,000 earth-bodied, 700,000 water-bodied, 700,000 fire-bodied, 700,000 air-bodied, 1 million vegetable-bodied, 1.4 million ordinary vegetable and plant-bodied, 200,000 Vaindriya, 200,000 Thendriya, 200,000 Choindriya, 400,000 hellish beings, 400,000 heavenly beings, 400,000 beasts and Panchendriyas, 1.4 human beings, while trespassing, getting up or sitting down, knowingly or unknowingly, if I have slain or gotten them slain, pierced or cut, pained or tortured any of these living beings, then in the presence of Arihants and infinite Siddha Lords, I pray for my sins being dissolved. I forgive all, may all forgive me. I am friendly to all, I have enmity for none.
Amal Shah.
Jai Janendra. Lesson 42, Obeisance to 5 Supremes. I bow down to Arihants, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyayas, and to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This 5-fold obeisance destroys all sins and is the foremost among all the auspicious activities.
Sumit Savla.
Jai Jinendra. Lesson 43, Desire for Atonement. O forgiving Gurudev, I offer my obeisance while keeping away from all sins to the extent of my power. O forgiving Gurudev, bowing my head, I ask for your forgiveness for the faults that have been done and the sins committed while undertaking essential activities during the day. O forgive me, Gurudev, I will refrain from all the 33 unworthy acts, false notions, evil mind, rude word, or improper physical act, anger, pride, deception, or greed, which upset every religious vow by undue behavior. O forgiving Gurudev, I repent for such unworthy acts, and in your presence I atone for the same, and I will keep my soul away from all sins.
You.
Aryan Shah.
Yajanandra. I do Kayotsrug, that is, forsake all activities by adopting a motionless posture for repenting and achieving further purification, and for nullifying and destroying my sins and karmas, by remaining at one place for uplifting of my blemished soul. Let my Kayotsrug be unbroken and non-violent from exceptions such as breathing in or out, coughing, sneezing, yawning, burping, passing bodily gases, dizziness, vomiting sensation, fainting, subtle bodily movements such as swallowing, bottom, or flickering of eyes, or by fear of thieves, king, fire, fierce animals, etc. Until I complete it by mentally reciting Navkar Pad to the Arhats, I will keep my body steady at one place, in complete silence and meditation, and keep away from all sinful activities.
Thank you. Before we do Kausad, just a note that you all are wonderful. Everybody is keeping and doing well. And we are another probably 30 or 25 minutes away. It will be done shortly. Hang in there. And now we will do 4 Naukars, Payotsav. Kaukai, Thanenam, Morenam, Jainam, Appanam, Vosirami. Please recite 4 Naukars.
Prayer to 24 Tirthankaras and all Siddhas. I chant, appreciate, and praise Arihant Lords and the Kevli Lords, who are the destroyers of karma enemies, conquerors of love and hatred, founders of fourfold Sanghas, who cause luminescence in the entire universe. I bow down to them. The names of these 24 Tirthankaras are Shri Rishabh Nath Swami, Shri Ajit Nath Swami, Shri Sambhav Nath Swami, Shri Abhinandan Swami, Shri Sumati Nath Swami, Shri Padma Prabhu Swami, Shri Suparsha Nath Swami, Shri Chandra Prabhu Swami, Shri Suvidhi Nath Swami, Shri Sheetal Nath Swami, Shri Shreyansh Nath Swami, Shri Vasupujya Swami, Shri Vimal Nath Swami, Shri Anant Nath Swami, Shri Dharam Nath Swami, Shri Shanti Nath Swami, Shri Kuntu Nath Swami, Shri Aranath Swami, Shri Malli Nath Swami, Shri Muni Suvrat Swami, Shri Naminath Swami, Shri Neminath Swami, Shri Parshwanath Swami, Shri Mahavir Swami. May these 24 Tirthankaras and the Kevali Jinas, who have shred off the karma particles, who have destroyed and ended the cycle of aging and death, be pleased with me. O Lord Siddhas, you are supreme in the universe, free from karmas. I have praised you verbally, bowed down to you physically, and worshipped you mentally. Hence do bestow upon me the benefit of true faith and deep meditation, and may you give me the supreme position of Siddha. O Lord Siddhas, purer than the moon, brighter than the sun, calmer than the oceans, confer upon me the blessed liberation. Doing Pratikaman with right faith, I offer obeisance to the 24 Janeshwars by 3 means, which are mentally, verbally, and physically. Thus, having repented for sins, having reverted back from sins, having criticized the sins, having become free from thorns, I repeatedly apologize to Arihants, Siddhas, teachers, preceptors, sadhus, and gurus. Tasamit Shami Dukaram. I take a vow from now until sunrise, or next 1 or 2 hours if it is a Rai-C Pratikaman, to abstain from the following 4 kinds of foods: solid foods, drinks, dry fruits, and mouth-refreshing spices. I would be pardoned if anything was forced into my mouth, or if I put anything in mouth unintentionally, or if I have to break this vow as per instruction of my religious teacher to prevent my meditation from being disturbed by obsession. O Lord, first Samayik, second Shavi Santo, third Vandana, fourth Pratikaman, fifth Kausag, and sixth Pachakan, all the 6 essentials have been completed. Regarding this, if any letter, word, or verse has been undersaid, oversaid, or otherwise said, then in the presence of Arihants and infinite Siddha Lords, I pray that the said lapses be dissolved. Tasam ichhami dukkadam. Pratikaman done with false belief is equivalent to being without vows, and that done with reluctance is equivalent to being involved in passions. In such cases, the ritual may be subject to different lapses and violations. If I have been involved in thinking of committing such violations, atikrama, or made preparation for the commission of such violations, vyatikarma, or attempted to commit such violations, atichara, or committed the violations, anachara, knowingly or unknowingly, then in the presence of Arihants and infinite Siddha Lords, I pray that all my such faults be dissolved. Tasam ichhami dukkadam. Regarding Pratikaman of the past deeds, Sanvar of the present ones, Pachakan for the time to come, if any sins or lapses are knowingly or unknowingly incurred, then in the presence of Arihants and infinite Siddha Lords, I pray that all my such faults be dissolved. Tasam ichhami dukkadam.
Rohini Gopal.
Lesson 46. Obeisance to 5 Supremes. I bow down to Arihants, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyas, and to the universal. Wait 1 second. And for the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is the foremost among all the auspicious activities. Vijanandra, thank you.
Ankita Saru.
Jainendra, universal forgiveness and friendship. Hamami sabba jiva khamantume mittime sabba bhuveshu veram mazam kinai. I grant forgiveness to all living beings. All living beings grant me forgiveness. My friendship is with all living beings. My enmity is totally non-existent.
Very good. Thank you. Sahil, can we unmute everybody and we all can recite together for a few seconds the next one, please?
Yes.
Okay, everybody's unmute. We can say it together.
Chami Dukram,
to everybody.
Chami Dukram.
On and the Samite, another few minutes, please hold on. Lesson 48. You have a volunteer?
48 is Rishi Gopal.
Okay.
End of Samite.
Okay.
Lesson 4. Obeisance to five supremes. Namo Arihantanam, I bow down to Arihant. Namo Siddhanam, I bow down to Siddhas. Namo Ayudanam, I bow down to Acharyas. Namo Uvajayanam, I bow down to Upadhyas. Namo Luvasavasahunam, I bow down to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhis. This fivefold obeisance destroys all sins and is the foremost among all the auspicious activities.
Thank you.
Sangvi.
Lesson 49. The 36 attributes of my preceptor.
Panchandri Sutra.
Panchandya Sutra. The preceptor effectively controls five sense organs, and observes 9 guidelines. Limitations of celibacy. She is free from 4 passions of anger, ego, deceit, and greed. She is thus equipped with these 18 attributes. She practices 5 great vows of non-violence, non-accepting anything unless specifically ordered, celibacy, and non-possession. She is capable of observing fivefold code of knowledge, perception, conduct, authority, and vigor. She observes 5 simple actions, 5 actions of retaining preference, desires, acceptance, and disposal. Here she effectively controls the aspects of mind, speech, and body. In all, my preceptor is thus embedded with these 36 attributes.
You
Asta Kandar.
scroll up. Sorry. Scroll up.
The obeisance to teachers. This is done to present sadhus or to Lord Arihant in Northeast. With 3 times clockwise movements of the folded hands, I bow down and kneel down to you. I honor you, Lord, and I respect you. You are blessed, you are auspicious, and you are divine. You are learned, and you give peace to all souls.
Nitin Shah.
Lesson 51. Repentance for sins occurring while walking. I desire to free myself from all my sins. I may have pained living beings while walking on the road. While coming and going, I may have crushed living beings, seeds, plants, dews, ant hills, spiderwebs, live water, or live earth. Whatever living beings or souls with 1 sense, 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, or 5 sense, that I may have inflicted pain, crushed, attacked, covered with dust, rubbed, collided with one another, tormented by turning one side or completely upside down, moved from one place to another, frightened, bothered, alarmed, or separated from life, may all such sins be dissolved. Thus Samvatsari
Uplifting the soul. I do kartsat, that is forsake for all activities, by adopting a motionless posture for repenting and achieving further purification, and for nullifying and destroying my sins and karmas by remaining at one place for uplifting of my blemished soul. Let my karasar be unbroken and non-violate from exceptions such as breathing in or out, coughing, sneezing, yawning, burping, passing bodily gases, dizziness, vomiting, sensation, fainting, subtle body movements such as swallowing spitting or flickering of eyes, or by thieves, king, fire, fears, animals, etc., until I complete it by mentally reciting Naukarpad to the Aryans. I will keep my body steady at one place in complete silence and meditation and keep away from all sinful activities.
Thank you. We will do 4 Naukar mantra calls, sir. Taukai, Thananam, Moranam, Jananam, Appanam, Vosirami. Recite 4 Naukars. Okay, Prakaso for lesson 53.
Hello, Jejinandana. I chant, I appreciate and praise Arihant Lords and the Keval Lords who are destroyers of karma's enemies, conquerors of love and hatred, founders of fourfold sanghas, and who cause luminance in the entire universe. I bow down to them. The names of the 24 Tirthankars are. So I actually learned it in the more of the Gujarati way. So can I say like Pela Shri Rushabdev like that?
Sure, go ahead.
Pela Shri Rushabdev, Bija Shri Ajitnath, Tija Shri Sabhavnath, Chota Shri Abhinandan Swami, Pachma Shri Sumatinath, Chatta Shri Padma Prabhu Swami, Satma Shri Supashanath, Atma Shri Chandra Prabhu Swami, Nama Shri Suvidinath, Dasma Shri Shitalnath, Gyarma Shri Sheyashnath, Barma Shri Vasupuja Swami, Terma Shri Vimalnath, Chovth Shri Anantnath, Pandarma Shri Dharmanath, Chatta Sodma Shri Shantinath, Satarma Shri Kuntunath, Adarma Shri Arnath, Ognisma Shri Mallinath, Visma Shri Mallinath, Munisurat Swami, Ekmisva Shri Naminath, Bavisma Shri Neminath, Devisma Shri Pashwanath Swami, Ne Chovisma Shri Mavya Swami Bhagwan Ki Jai. May the 24 Tirthankars and other Keval Jainas who have removed the karma particles, who have destroyed and ended the cycle of aging, death, be pleased with me. O Lord Siddhas, you are the supreme in the universe, free from karmas. I have praised you verbally, bowed down to you physically, and worshipped you mentally. Hence do bestow upon me the benefit of true faith and deep meditation, and may you give me the supreme position of Siddha. O Lord Siddhas, purer than the moon, brighter than the sun, calmer than the oceans, confer upon me the blessed liberation.
Thank you. We will do Mupatti, Vandana, and then we will listen to Moti Santi. For Mupatti, as we did last time, original sutra first, Ichhami Kamasma Mandiv Janu Jainisya Mathen Vandami. Meaning, oh forgiving Gurudev, I am giving up all my wrongful acts with all my strength and bow down to you with my head near to your feet. Now, open up the Mupati, hold it with the two hands and ask permission. Ichakaran Sandisa Bhagavan Samaik Mupati Padileham Padileu Icham. Oh, forgiving Gurudev, may I have your kind permission to inspect the Mupati? Yes, you may. Your wish is my wish. Hold it both hands and say, vibrate it and say meaning and essence that I accept. Now, turn around to one side and say, I discard three types of perceptor, obstructing, delusion, karma. One more time, I discard three types of attachments, sensual, affection, and vision related. Now put the open Mupati on the left arm, fold it in half, and then fold 1 inch from the closed side and hold in the right hand. Now we're going to move it on the left side from wrist up to shoulder and down, saying this, taking up, I accept right Dev, right Guru, and right religion. Now moving back down, I discard wrong Dev, wrong Guru, and wrong religion. Second time, I accept right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct. Moving it down, I discard wrong knowledge, wrong faith, and wrong conduct. Third time up, I accept control of activities of mind, speech, and body. Moving it down, I discard inauspicious activities of mind, speech, and body. And now gently vibrate the Mupati on the back of the left hand. I discard harmful laughter, happiness in sinful activities, and unhappiness in spiritual activities. Now take it in the left hand and vibrate on the right back of the right hand. I discard fear, sorrow, and disgust. With that, we fold it back to how it was. And now we do the Vandana. I will recite. If you have Charavada, put it on Charavada. Otherwise, just put it in front of you. Ichami Kamasamno, Vandu Jani Jai Nisi Ae, Anujana, Me Miyogam Nisi, Aho, Kayam, Sampasam, Kamli Jo Be Kiramo, Apakiram Tanam, Bosu Bedwe, Be Divaso Ekanto, Jatta Be, Jomani, Junjambe, Kamemi, Kamasamno. Okay. Okay, Sahil. Rambai Gada, please recite Moti Santi.
ओम नमो सिद्धाचार्य उपाध्याय सर्वसाधुभ्य ओ बो भव्याः शृणुत वंचनं प्रसुतं सर्वमेध ये यात्रायां त्रिभुवन गुरुरार्ता भक्तिभाजः तेषां शान्तिर्भवतु भवतां वरदादि प्रभावा आरोग्य श्री कृति मुक्ति करी कलेश विध्वंस हेतु वो भव्य लोका यही भरतो यात विदेह संभवानां समस्त तीर्थकर्तां जन्मन्यासन प्रकंपानंतवर्ती विद्याना विघ्नाय सौधर्माधिपति सुघोषा घंटा चालनानंतर सकल सुरा सुरेंद्रै सह समगत्य सविनय महर्द भटारकं गृहीत्वा गत्वा कनकाद्रि श्रृंगे विहित जन्माभिषेक शांति मुद घोषति यथा ततोऽहं कृतानुकारमिति कृत्वा महाजनो येन गतः सपन्थाः इति भव्य जनैः स समत्य स्नात्रपीठे स्नात्रं विधाय शान्तिमुद घोषयामि तत्पूजा यात्रा स्नातादि मोत्सवानवान्तवती कृत्वा कर्णदत्वा निशमन्त्या स्वाहा ओम पुण्याहं प्रियंतां भगवन्तो हरन्तः सर्वगुणाः सर्वदर्शनी श्रीलोकनाथा श्रीलोकमहिता श्रीलोकपूज्या श्रीलोकेश्वरा श्रीलोकदोकरा ओम ऋषभाजित संभव अभिनंदन सुमति पद्मप्रभः सुपार्श्व चंद्र प्रभ सुविध शीतल श्रेयांस वाजु पूज्य विमल अनंत धर्म शांति कुंतु हरमली मुनि श्रोत नमनेमि पार्श्वर्द मनानता जिना शांता शांति करता भवन्तु स्वाहा ओम मुनयो मुनि प्रवरा रिपु विजय दुर्भिक्ष कांतारेषु दुर्गमार्गेषु रक्षन्तु वो नित्यं स्वाहा ओम श्री धृति मृति कीर्ति कांति बुद्धि लक्ष्मी मेघा विद्या साधन प्रवेश निवेनेषु सुगृहीत नामनो जयन्तु ते जिनेन्द्राः ओम रोहिणी प्रज्ञप्ति वज्र संगला वज्रा कुशी अप्रतिचक्रा पुरुषता काली महाकाली घोरी गांधारी सर्वाश्रा महाज्वाला मानवी वैराट्या अच्युता मानसी महामानसी षोडश विद्या देवो रक्षन्तु वो नित्यं स्वाहा। ओ आचार्य उपाध्याय प्रभृति चातुर्वर्ष श्री समण संघस्य शांतिर्भवतु तुष्टिर्भवतु पुष्टिर्भवतु। ओ ग्रह चंद्र सूर्यागारक बुद्ध बृहस्पति शुक्र शनेश्वर राहु केतु सहिता श्लोकपालाः सोमयं वासिवादित्य स्कंद विनायकोपेताये चाने भी ग्राम नगर क्षेत्र देवता देस्ते सर्वे प्रियंताम अक्षिण कोश काष्ठगारा नरपति अक्ष भवन्तु स्वाहा। ओम पुत्र मित्र भात कलत्र सुहृत स्वजन संबंधी बंधु वर्ग सहिता नित्यं चामोद प्रमोदकारिणं भवन्तु स्वाहा। अश्रीमत्सं भूमंडले आयतन निवासी साधु साधवी श्रावक श्राविकाण रोगपसर्ग व्याधि दुख दुर्भिक्ष दोमन नाम शांतिर्भवतु। ओम तुष्टि पुष्टि रुद्धि वृद्धि मांगल्योत्सवा सदा प्रादुर्भूतानि पापानि शाम्यन्तु दुरितानि शत्रवः परामुखा भवन्तु स्वाहा। श्रीमते शांतिनाथाय नम शांति विदायिने त्रैलोक्य श्यामराधीश मुकुटाभ्य चिंता ग्रहे शांति शांति कर श्रीमान शांति दिशन्तु मे गुरु शांतिरेव सदा ते साम येषां शांति ग्रहे ग्रहे। उन्मष्ट रिष्ट दुष्ट ग्रह गति दुस्वप्न दुर्मतादि संपादित हित संपन्न नाम ग्रहणम जयति शांति। श्री संग जग जनपद राजादद राजसनिवेशानां गोष्ठिक पुरमुख्यानां व्याहरणे व्याहरे चिंतम्। श्री श्रमण संघस्य शांतिर्भवतु श्री जनपदानां शांतिर्भवतु श्री राजाधिपानां शांतिर्भवतु श्री राजसनिवेशानां शांतिर्भवतु श्री गोष्ठिकानां शांतिर्भवतु श्री पौरमुख्यानां शांतिर्भवतु श्री पौरजनस्य शांतिर्भवतु श्री ब्रह्मलोकस्य शांतिर्भवतु। ओम स्वाहा ओम स्वाहा ओम श्री पार्श्वनाथाय स्वाहा। एषा शांति प्रतिष्ठा यात्रा स्नात्राद्वसाने सुशांति कलशं गृहीत्वा मुखं चंदन कपूरा गरुदुपवास गुसाम जलि समेतः स्नात्र चतुष्कायां श्री संग समेतः शुचि शुचि वपुः पुष्प वस्त्र चंदनाभरणालंकृतः पुष्पमालां कंठे कृत्वा शांति मुद घोषयित्वा शांति पानीयं मस्तके दातव्यमति। नृत्यन्ति नृत्यं मणिपुष्पवर्ष सृजन्ति गायन्ति च मंगलानि श्रोत्राणि गोत्राणि पंडित मंत्रान् कल्याण बाजो हि जिनाभिषेके। शिवमस्तु सर्वजगतः परहित निरता भवन्तु भूतगणाः दोषाः प्रयान्तु नाशं सर्वत्र सुखी भवतु लोकः। अहं तिथ्यरमाया शिवा देवी तुम्हर नयर निवासिनी अम शिवम तुम शिवम अशिवोषधम शिवम भवन्तु स्वाहा। उपसर्गाः संयम यान्ति छिदन्ते विघ्नवलयः मनः प्रसन्नामेति पूज्यमाने जिनेश्वरे सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वकल्याणकारणं प्रधानं सर्वधर्माणां जैनं जयति शासनं मिच्छामि दुक्कडम्।
Thank you. Lesson 55, Sahil.
Anaya Shah.
I have completed Samayik subject to limitations of matter, space, time, and attitude. In this vow of Samayik, there were 5 faults to be avoided. They were mentally indulging in a foul way, indulging in foul language, indulging in foul acts, negligence, or carelessness, and terminating it too soon. If I have indulged in any of if any of the above, then may all such faults be dissolved. Dasa michami dukram. If I have not behaved properly, not observed properly, not worshipped properly, as ordained by the Lord Vitrag, then may all my lapses be dissolved. While performing samayik, if I have indulged in any of the mental gossips about sex, food, or politics, then may all such faults be dissolved. While performing samayik, if I have fallen a prey to any of the four instincts of appetite, fear, passion, or possessiveness, then may all my such lapses be dissolved. While performing samayik, if I have thought of committing violence, made preparation for the commission of such violations, attempted to commit such violations, or actually committed the violations of any restraints, then may all my such lapses be dissolved. Samayik Vrat was undertaken, performed, and completed in a professed manner. If any error has crept in, then may all such lapses be dissolved. While performing samayik during recitation, if any scriptural errors have been committed by way of omissions, inclusions, or variations of the text, then may all my errors be dissolved. Dasa michami dukram. They are my religious teachers, preceptors, and preachers, confers of true faith and knowledge, the ornaments of path of Jainism, and are worthy of many titles. I offer obeisance to them now and again, and let it reach wherever they may be.
Thank you. We will do the last karsarg of our Pratikaman, including samayik. I will recite, and then we will recite one naukar. Taukai Thananam Murinam Jananam Appanam Vosirami. One naukar, please. Do you have someone for 56, Sahil?
Yeah, Jia Telly.
Okay. Please go ahead and recite it 3 times.
She's gonna do it instead of me.
No problem.
Obeisance to 5 supremes.
So this 3 times.
Namo Arihantanam, I bow down to Arihants. Namo Siddhanam, I bow down to Siddhas. Namo Yajnanam, I bow down to Acharyas. Namo Uvajayanam, I bow down to Upadhyas. Namo Saham, I bow down to universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. Namo Arihantanam, I bow down to Arihants. Namo Siddhanam, I bow down to Siddhas. Namo Yajnanam, I bow down to Acharyas. Namo Uvajayanam, I bow down to Upadhyas. Namo Saham, I bow down to universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. Namo Arihantanam, I bow down to Arihants. Namo Siddhanam, I bow down to Siddhas. Namo Yajnanam, I bow down to Acharyas. Namo Uvajayanam, I bow down to Upadhyas. Namo Saham, I bow down to the universal fraternity of sadhus and sadhvis. This 5
destroys all sins and is the foremost among all auspicious activities. Ladies and gentlemen, Jai Jinendra, everybody, Michami Dukram. This concludes our samayik.
Michami Dukram.
Thank you, everyone.
Jinendra.
Chami Dukram.
Chami
To all.
Chami Dukram.
Chami Dukram.
Jai Jinendra.
Chami Dukram.
Thank you for joining.
Chami Dukram.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Michami Dukram. Thank you.
Chami Dukram.
More people.